Hello and welcome to JL Season 16A Round 1 here at the Belgian base track, modelled after Spa-Francorchamps. Not many. Well, there's some similarities, but let's just say it's not very accurate rendition. It is quite a different track to drive on, and we've got 16 JL drivers here today. Only 7 teams this season due to the sudden folding of Continuum Ren. So only 14 drivers will be driving for a team. We've got 2 independent drivers. I believe that's Mike Sands and Off Yuko. And after the first lap, we've got a 24.53 from Krustenet as the current provisional pole. That is a very good time. Joining me today is Figueira, the 2-time drivers champion.
Hello. How are we doing? Well, I guess that's your line, but
Yeah, well, I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Excited for this race. We saw the AO one, didn't we? That was a dominant performance from Skibbity. Is he in here? Yes, he is,
Yeah,
but he hasn't really shown
currently
the.
at 8th. He managed a 24.67 in the AL quali. If he were to repeat that, he could jump up to the front row, as not much improvement other than Krustenet increasing his lead here on the provisional pole time at 24.47 from Krustenet. And he improves that to a .43. Skibbity goes on the front row. Batuko, Sathuche, it's a top 4 of mobile drivers that have joined PC here in JL. So can you take us through the quali results, Figo?
Right. Well, we have Krustenet on pole, and yeah, that is a very strong time. 2/10 up on everyone else, and a 43. I think that kind of time can get you right near the front of the grid, and you will. This man is wow. That's all I have to say. Just wow. PT Skibbity, the guy who dominated in AL, comes back, improves his time by 200ths. And he lined himself up and right next to the pole sitter. In P3, Batuko, another really strong time, 24.73. P4 is Pan, or as we know him, Swizzy. P5 is Kaczynski, and P6 is Suchush. And all 3 of them have tied with 24.75. So we'll see how the game kind of lines them up, basically at random. P7 is Banner, P8 Despacito 7, P9 is Rafita 67. P10 is Foxyline 7, 777. P11 is Sunday Driver, 12th Alexei Drozdov, 13th is Ofuko, 14th is Mr. Crunk, and 15th Lupik, and finally in 16th is Mike Sands, who is quite the margin away from everyone else actually, 3.47 from a second from the pole sitter. It's very interesting, but we'll see how he does starting from the back. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Also, good to note, Krustenet today driving in JL and CL. He did say he will be missing UL, unfortunately, and it would have been very interesting to see how you got on there with the added pressure. Would he have been able to hit .4 again? I think he would. But right now, we're gonna move on to the JL race. 33 laps ahead of us. Rain is on 10%, so drivers are gonna have to watch out for that. Make sure their rain strategy is okay. And yeah, here we go then. Krustenet starting from the pole. Skibbity from the front row, the AL race winner. We've got a lot of medium tire runners. We also have a bunch of soft tire runners and only 2 hard tire runners, that being Foxyland and Sunday Driver. And you already see a big split here. The top 8 or 7, I want to say, kind of split themselves away, but Rafita now joining that pack. Now Skibbity and Batuko running away at the front. Krustenet has not had the greatest of starts here. He's battling Pan, he's battling Kaczynski, Sathuche, Despacito into grass. Doesn't leave Rafita the space, so Rafita also goes into the grass. And Skibbity and Batuko, their teammates at VLP and CL. And me and Figo are completely not biased, as were their managers, but yeah, they're running away with it right now, and Juan of Solaris will be very happy to see Kaczynski and Batuko currently Oh, Skibidi, yeah, with the mistake. Crusting it with a little teleport there. Gonna have to keep that in mind. 1 or 2 more teleports and he might be asked to DNF if they are too severe. Hopefully it was just a one-time thing. It did cost Kaczynski crusting it. Well, mistake here as well. Skibidi has fallen a bit down the order while Pan is slowly trying to close down on Batuko. All of them on mediums other than Kaczynski crusting it, and those softs aren't really helping them a lot right now. Kaczynski at the back of the pack crusting it, away from the pack by himself in 6th at the current moment. But Sothuche's got the fastest lap at the current moment, 24.33, and now the Archons, you can see here, the only JL team that has not gotten a new livery yet for this season. Oski assured me he is working on one, and he will have it out for round 2. Crusting it, another teleport there, so we'll have to keep that in mind. But it's Batuko out in the lead, Sothuche trying to close down on him. Pan in 3rd, Skibidi right behind him after a good start. He will be a little disappointed to be down in 4th, but as long as he's able to make his way back up, that will be good for him. Mike Sands, obviously, you can see him there, has DNF'd, and his car is, I don't know where it's going. Kaczynski makes a mistake, crossing it, catches the back of him, he's back in at least the pack for P3, as Sothuche has definitely caught the slipstream of Batuka. And what can you say about this race so far, Figo? Maybe something down at the back that I've missed, or any insights?
I mean, the back of the grid is basically just like, the drivers are all spread out now, not many fights. But yeah, we've seen Krasmus and Kaczynski kind of struggle to make the most of their soft tyres. Kaczynski quite playing it safe and just kind of staying behind the medium drivers. You don't really want to do that, especially when you're on the fastest tyre. And yeah, they really haven't put themselves in a good position, down in 5th and 6th. Oh, that's Swizzy off the track in the gravel. I don't know what that was. That might have been some kind of like lag thing. I think I saw like Krustin's trailer or something. But yeah, we'll see if the pole sitter, Krustin, can try and build his way back up. Skibidi letting him through. But yeah, kind of it's just not the greatest start.
Out? Was it Pan?
It was Swizzy. Pan, yeah. Is he out? I saw someone.
Well, no, he's in 6th, but he has lost 2.5 seconds. I have put out a warning because it's probably good to put out a warning beforehand. But yeah, that is 3 TPs now, and a major one at that, costing Pan a lot of time. So if Krustin does teleport one more time, we will have to ask him to DNF to not affect the race further. Currently 9 laps in out of 33, and we do see the weather marker move. Was it a clouds announcement we had, Figo?
Yeah, it's clouds, yep. So, the drivers are going to be looking at that
weather announcement. And it is heavy rain right after the top drivers have just missed the pit box, and it's Alexi, the first one to get in. He's going full wets. So is Foxyland. We see Mr. Crunk, Sunday Driver, all of them following full wets. It is a heavy rain announcement. Krustin leaves of his own accord, interestingly enough. I don't know what happened there. Did you see it?
No, just don't know what happened to him. We're going to see if the drivers can avoid hitting that pit wall. Quite far away, but we see it occasionally from time to time, especially when the grip is low like this and you're going to understeer into that pit lane.
And it's good to mention Bana just about missed the pits there, like by just a little split second, I think. And it looked like he steered into grass a bit too late to try and get into the pits, and then steered back on track. And that has cost him a bit, because it's Alexi. Okay, maybe the timesheets are a bit wrong considering the little bug you get with the timesheets on the outlap, so we'll see if they fix themselves now. Okay, as Sothuche has taken the lead from Batuko right now. Skibidi in 3rd has detached himself from that pack. Of course, Krustin no longer in the mix. Pan is still looking for that return. And we see here Kaczynski and Rafita, the only 2 drivers in Inters. And I'd say this is a good track for Inters. Obviously, right now it's a fully wet track. But from my experience, you can do quite a lot with Inters. You can even, if you're just consistent enough, you can beat wet drivers on those Inters. What do you make of it? Inters or wet?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Int is probably better if you know you're in the slip, but Kaczynski's kind of just left himself exposed. The Inters, they are not as quick as the wets, especially in full wet conditions, and you can see him slowly bleeding time to Pan, and he's going to be looking in the mirrors and thinking, do I fight him? Do I keep him behind me? Because that gap between Kaczynski and Skibidi is growing, and he's going to be
Yeah,
wondering if he can even make it to
we'll have
P3.
to monitor the lap times for that. Also, good to
Yeah.
know the top 5, even Pan, while losing those 2.5 seconds, they have detached themselves quite a lot. Alexei Drozdov pitted a lap early for that rain. He's holding down the 6, but yeah, it's a big gap between him and the top 5, so very interesting to know. However, looking great for Rekar Supernova, looking great for Archon, and looking great for Solaris, because those 3 teams are currently locking out that top 6.
But yeah, we just see Sajush lead, and I think Batuko's slowly catching him. He's got the pace
Yeah, it was
advantage.
200s faster last lap, and also let's compare here. Skibidi at .73. It's a .72 from Kaczynski, but it is a .62 from Pan, so he has gained a tenth. However, that is much better than previously thought for Kaczynski on those enters. Maybe this. Oh, we see Pan now catching a lot, so maybe this lap we will see a much bigger difference, as Batuko's still trying to catch that Sothuche slip. Skibidi is actually getting close. .67 from him, and there's a .78 from Kaczynski, .53 from Pan. So yeah, Kaczynski is losing a tenth, 2 tenths. That's not too bad a loss, it's manageable time loss, but he just doesn't want to be losing Skibidi in this manner.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity for team games as well. I think it's Archon 1-3 at the moment. And if Skibidi can, try and get himself back into the fight for P1, P2...
Oh, he had a terrible lap, 27.60 last lap. He's lost a lot of that gap to Kaczynski. Yeah. Very
then, as
interesting.
I said, aforementioned team games might not be occurring, but the sun comes out now, and Kaczynski now in a better position. I think he's maintained the gap from Pan, and he might be able to take advantage of the drying conditions. He might catch Skibidi.
2 tenths on Skibidi that lap, 4 tenths on Pan. Kaczynski is definitely driving quite well here, looking for that podium position, and who knows what will happen. Batuko has lost a considerable amount of time to Sothuche now, and he's lost another 4 tenths this lap, so I think the majority of that was in the previous lap. Unfortunately for him, Sothuche looks to try and run away with it. Did we have an announcement there? Was that light rain, did I see?
It's light rain, yeah.
Yeah, and that makes it more interesting here. It's still better for entered tires, but if that rain continues on for a while, you'll start to see people thinking, do I have to pit again for wets and enters? Maybe it's a bit early for that. And it's heavy rain again, so maybe we will see that happen here. We will see people weighing the risks and the rewards.
I think it really will be a game of chicken, especially in P1, P2. They're going to see who makes the pit first. Because I think Sajush, he can afford to stay out one more lap. If he sees Batuko pit, he knows that he can pit. He'll have the newer tyres, he'll have that gap, and he'll basically be kind of shielded from any kind of rain shenanigans, because Batuko, his only kind of competition here, will have taken the same strategy. So I think he's in a very, very much a safe position. And I wonder if Batuko will try and risk it in any kind of conditions where the rain goes away.
Has pitted onto a fresh set of wet tyres. I think the real issue with the risk here is you have to think, will the rain go away before I can regain the time that I lose due to this pit? So people usually don't want to risk it unless the tires are getting really worn, unless they are starting to lose more time than just pitting and having those fresh tires. It's just a very difficult decision to make, especially for JL drivers. But as it stands, Kaczynski has actually lost Skibidi a bit. Pan may have been fighting with him, but let's take a look down the order. We've got Alexei Drozdov still in 6th, but Despacito is slipstreaming him quite well. I think they are fighting for position here. Despacito's side by side with him. We've got Rafita in 8th, we've got Foxyline in 9th, we've got Mr. Crunk in 10th. He has pitted onto those fresh wet tires. Interesting to see how that goes. 11th for Bana, 12th for Sunday Driver, and Lupik in 13th. Krustanet and Mike Sands have been our only drivers to DNF so far in this race.
We're seeing a very exciting battle between Kaczynski and Pan, actually. Kaczynski really trying to attack Pan, try and get the position over him. He is not trying to let him through, and he is not going to slip him. Maybe he doesn't feel confident in holding Pan's slip, and I think he's just been attacking him every corner. And we'll see if he does it at the end of this main straight.
Oh, through the chicane. But Pan leaves no space there. Still in slipstream.
I think he's still in the slip. But
But
yeah,
he is
he's
struggling
really,
on
like,
those one
suffering from the
enters.
grip.
Oh, big mistakes.
Yeah,
And
I
he
think
has lost
Pan's
a
kind
lot
of
of
just got
time.
it.
Enters wear more than wets after all. Sotuche goes for it. He's pitted onto the enter tires. He's come out just out of Skibidi. I think he was maybe looking to try and let him pass, but Skibidi has decided to stay behind. He's decided, I've got the worn tires, no point in me getting past you here. And yeah, it's Sotuche with fresh new enters, banking on this rain to continue. Batuko, meanwhile, looks to be staying out another lap, and the rain is continuing, so he'll have to think about it too. It's 5 laps to the end. Can he survive on those very worn wets until then?
This is really massive for Batuko. If he can go all the way to the end on these dying wet tires, he still has that small advantage. Well, not now, but later in the stint, where, you know, it'll become full wet. I wonder if he can take them all the way to the end, because now he's in it, he cannot pit, surely. He has to take this strap. Can he outpace Suzuki to the end? That is the question. But yeah, Suzuki with the tyre advantage in terms of just life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
also
it's gonna be a hunt.
Kaczynski's struggling on the worn enters. He's lost a lot of time now to Pan, is trying to fight Skibidi, both of them on very worn wets. So it's very interesting to see him try and see an opportunity and opening here. Most interesting here is I think Batuko's risking it here, and the sun is coming back, interestingly enough. But I don't think it's going to come back in time for them to have to pit onto dry tires, which is what Batuko, that would have been the best option for Batuko. If the rain went away after Sotuche pit, Batuko went on those softs, it would have been a guaranteed victory. But look at how much time Sotuche is gaining here. And I'd say that going to lighter wet conditions is actually a bad thing for Batuko now, because look how much inroads Sotuche has made, and he's on those fresh entered tires. I don't think even on the fully wet track, Batuko had that advantage, considering how worn his wets were. But I think he decided to risk it here because it looks like P2 is pretty much guaranteed for him either way, and he's going to try to fight it. Maybe he's going to try to slipstream, maybe. We'll just have to see here. The penultimate lap, Batuko gets overtaken by Sotuche very wide there for that turn. Looking to try and keep some speed, but it's just the grip. The grip difference is too great, and Sotuche is running away with it in the final lap. Batuko's tried his hardest, and honestly, big props to him, because look how much time Pan and Skibidi, they might have lost some due to fighting as well, but still a massive amount of time that they lost, not only to Sotuche but also to Batuko, who's tried his hardest. But it is Sotuche who will cross the line here and win the Belgian J-Prix. Batuko in second, and it will be third for Pan. What happened to Skibidi?
Yeah, I think he just suddenly stopped turning and he just disappeared from the map. I think he's disconnected. That is terrible news for Archon.
And yes, Skibidi disconnected in the final lap of the race. That is really unfortunate. It's 5th for Despacito, who beats out Alexei Drozdov by quite a lot. Alexei Drozdov in 6th, Rafita 7th, Mr. Crunk makes it back up to 8th with those with banking on pitting for wets a second time. I'm not sure if he gained any positions from it, but 8th is a respectable finish for him on his return to JL, I believe. Foxy Line 9th, Sunday Driver 11th, Bana 11th, Sunday Driver 10th, and Lupik will cross the line in 12th. So yeah, very interesting rain strategy fight at the end there, and Batuko just 1 or 2 laps less would have been enough for him to take that victory. So very, very close in that regard. What did you make of the race, Figo?
Yeah, that was a really interesting one, actually. Just the way the rain came in, and that strategic choice between Suzuki. How do you say his name? Suzuki. Hooch, the way
I don't know if it's the correct way.
Yeah, I mean, he took the risk and ultimately paid off. The Inters were the right decision. The Wets definitely just did not seem to have the grip, did not seem to have the life. But that's just the way taking the risk goes. And yeah, he's been rewarded with a win, a fantastic win. And I just think another mention of just the unfortunate nature of Skibbity's DNF, which has put Archon on the back foot here. Solaris, despite not taking the win, I think they take the lead of the constructors immediately.
It's very weird. Not sure what happened to Skibidi, but disconnecting in the final lap is probably the worst time to disconnect. Crossed the net as well, unfortunate with the teleports, and then he did choose to leave the game himself. I think he would have probably been asked to DNF regardless. But he does get the fastest lap as a consolation prize. I think he does get a point for that. But yeah, the winners of today, Sudhuche as the race winner, but Solaris definitely the winners in terms of constructor points, and Ricard Supernova second best, I'd say. I think they beat out Archon due to that Skibidi DNF. It's been a interesting 33 laps here at JL. I was joined by Figo. Thank you for co-commentating with me.
Of course.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time at Ricardo Tormo for the Spanish J-Prix in the second round, and we'll see how this JL season unravels. See you then.